name is Davina Rutherford, and you're watching Who's Trending 242. And I'm here with Anastarcia Palacios, CEO, Marketing and PR Guru, and so much more. Hi, Anastarcia. How are you?
To be honest, if I could have you introduce me all the time, we'd be in good standing. I'm very well, thank you.
Well, we're just going to jump right into it. We're going to let the people get to know who you are because you are Who's Trending.
Uh-huh.
If you could go back 5 years, looking at yourself today, would you have seen yourself here?
No, I don't think I can say that I would have. 5 years ago, I was still finishing my degrees at the University of Miami, and they were in international studies and political science. And I really thought that I would be working for the UN or working for the Ministry of Foreign Affairs or living in China or Africa and working with a nonprofit. I would not have seen myself sitting here in the Bahamas, owning my own business, writing, producing, and co-hosting Bahamas at Sunrise, or doing any of the things that God has led me to. But I'm very grateful that the journey, though unexpected, has been wonderful thus far.
And since we're 5 years back, what advice would you give yourself 5 years ago?
5 years ago, if I knew that I would be here, I would have switched one of my majors, probably my major in international studies, and switched that to communications and have done a double degree in communications and in political science. My A is in mass comm. But I think having had work experience in the U.S., maybe working more with journalists there, it might have taken me to another level in my schooling. So I think that's one thing I would have changed.
Well, how did you decide the career that you're in now? What was that pivotal moment that made you say, this is what I want to do?
Interestingly enough, I had prayed about what my life should be for a very long time. And when I was about 18 years old, I was leaving my first semester at the College of the Bahamas. I was flying home to Freeport. And I remember being on the plane. My major at the time was tourism studies. And I said, Lord, I don't know if this is for me. I said, so I really want you to tell me what it is that you want me to do. And at that time, he said to me, communications. Right. So I finished my AA in mass comm, but I still went and did my own thing, which I think is something that we all do. I went into another field. But God is good and faithful. And so he had it so that every step along the way, when I thought I would be getting into the international political arena, the jobs just didn't work out. I met with a fantastic young lady who was in human resources at Atlantis, and they were starting a manager trainee program at that time. And she said, we think you'd be a good candidate. We want to train you in the hotel. And so I took the opportunity. I worked there for 18 months with some of the best senior vice presidents in business around, learning everything about the hotel from the ground up. And when I was done with that experience, again, God opened the doorway for me to become the marketing manager for food and beverage. And so I managed 40 restaurants and bars as the marketing and PR person, dealing with our teams abroad as well. And it was just a great experience. I felt like I was right where I needed to be. It fit my skill set, and I loved it. And again, because of an opportunity from God, I had the privilege of going on Bahamas at Sunrise as a guest, actually, to speak about stuff happening in the country. And I always tell people success comes when preparation meets opportunity. And I had prepared myself for that moment. I had done my research. I knew what I was speaking about. And the owner of the show liked my presentation. And she said, I'd like you to come back and be a guest host. And now, these years later, this is where I'm at. So it's really just been a journey of God, of trust, and total commitment to just being the best me I could be in any given situation.
That is amazing. And throughout your journey, is there a leader that has impacted you, maybe your mentor, someone that was close to you? How have they affected you, and how did you choose them to be your mentor?
Well, there are three things I want to say about that. One is that family is so important, and I have had the pleasure of being loved and supported by an amazing family. And when you have people who believe in you, I think that's really the first step. So I always knew that no matter what I did, I'd have their backing.
Right.
And then I think my husband is a driving force for me. He is excellence in human form. This guy is just totally committed to everything he does. It's amazing to watch him in action. He's always growing, always reading, always trying to learn something new. And when you partner with that type of person, you can't help but to be excellent, want to be better, because you got to keep up in the conversation. And so he's been a great driving force. And then most recently, I have been working with Carlton Smith. We've worked together over the last year, and Carlton is a veteran broadcaster. He hosts Let's Talk Live, and he has taken me under his wing. I went to him because I was interested in getting into radio, and I said, Carlton, how can I do this? Right. And ever since I approached him, he has taken the opportunity to just encourage me, to guide me. I run my decisions by him. And so he's been an awesome mentor. And I cannot forget Veronica Duncanson, who I worked with when I was 17. She put me in charge of a marketing project as a marketing project manager at 17. She trusted me. And so I think those are two of the people that stand out most. And then I observe people like Oprah Winfrey, and I know it's possible. And I can't forget people like Davina Rutherford, who was doing a thing in Grand Bahama and led me to believe that I can do it too in Nassau. So yeah, I think I've just been surrounded by excellence, and it really rubs off on you.
That is so. What is important to you in your organization, your mission, your values, your core values, and why?
So I own a company which is called the Social Light Media, and we deal with social media, marketing, public relations, and events.
Right.
But in addition to that, I also write, co-host, and produce for Bahamas at Sunrise. I also produce for Let's Talk Live with Carlton Smith on a Youth Perspective Tuesday. And the core value for me as Anastarcia Palacios is the same as it is for me with the Social Light Media. My personal mission, I truly believe, is to build the nation through communication. I believe if we could effectively get people to talk about their feelings, to express themselves, so that there's no misunderstanding, we'd see a lot less violence, we'd see a lot more peace, we'd see a lot more of people being able to manifest their dreams and live their best lives because they can clearly articulate what it is that they want to do. And so in everything I do, I ask myself, is what I'm saying, is what I'm doing, is the story I'm selling, is the PR I'm promoting behind this, giving people the best option to communicate effectively?
Right.
And so for me, I think that's crux, to always remember that I am building the nation through communication.
That is, oh, girl. So how do you foster creative thinking within your organization?
Well, I've worked with several different teams. I've had the privilege of managing quite a few young people, and interestingly enough, some older people. And that is always an interesting dynamic. I think one of the things that you have to do is be honest with people, and you have to give people the liberty to be themselves.
Right.
I want to know what people's ideas are. I want to know what their thoughts and opinions are. I'm going to ask you questions sometimes that are going to lead you to think in different ways, but I'm also not a person that is unwilling to change my mind. I could be wrong about something, and so I let people know that. And if somebody gives me a better solution or a better idea, I'm more than willing to set my idea aside in order to go with them. So I think when you develop honesty, when you communicate effectively, when you encourage people, and when you do your part, a lot of times Bahamians like to say, "Oh yeah, get it done," but then we don't do it though. You know, we don't deliver. And so a part of it too is you being accountable and people seeing that accountability in you. The saying is true: lead by example, and I think that's worked best for me with teams.